Hello, Team Reading. Hope you guys are doing awesome. It is a beautiful Friday afternoon, sunshiny and awesome. Does not feel like fall by any means here in Redding, California, but it's been a great last couple months. Very excited about the growth we've had since convention. I know a lot of you guys have picked up a lot of momentum, and I've actually been watching volume reports, and your businesses have doubled and tripled, and so all kinds of good stuff going on across the team. And I am so honored and so excited today to have a dear friend, somebody I call family, Miss Trinity Haskins on our call today. Trinity has probably known me since before I knew me, and the world for a time, and is a director with Market America, which means $18,000 to $25,000 in a 4-week time span, and just somebody I really respect a ton. She's built this business and has a really strong residual income. They've been able to walk away and then come back and walk away from it, and the income comes in no matter what. So Trinity, thank you so much for being on our call today.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be here. I'm really new at the Facebook Live stuff. Colin and I have done a couple of things here and there, and then Colton asked me to do this, so I'll do anything for Colton and Michaela. So we're giving it a go. So hey, everybody. Great to see you.
Live world. I don't know if you can see this or not. I don't know if you see the comments or not, but you got Miss Jamie Mapstead on the call as well right now.
Jamie!
She said, eek! And she said she's super excited, so it's good.
Awesome. Love
so, guys, can you guys hear us okay? Maybe text on it in there if you guys can hear us okay. Make sure we can hear. Okay. Hello. Good. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started here. Let us know if you guys are having any technical problems, but I'm super pumped to have Miss Trinity on the call here. So Miss Trinity, just fired up about just doing this. I know a lot of people, you came out to Reading at one point, right, pretty much when we very first got started, and fired up at that point. We're just a young little budding team in our infancy stage, but I know a lot of people now weren't even around at that point. So would you mind just telling us, how did you first get started with Market America?
Absolutely.
And franchise world.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the whole thing, Colton, is because your parents and Colin and I, we were the Colton and Michaela back in the day, right? So we've really grown up with Market America, and we feel really privileged and honored to be able to say that, because we know what this business can offer you. We know what this can do for your life. And that's why, if you think about it, it's a 2 to 3 year business plan. But yet we're still all continuing to build, because Colin and I feel so blessed that we've been able to accomplish so many things and have time freedom with our kids and do so many things that most people don't have time to do, because they don't have the time freedom. They don't have the flexibility that Market America has allowed us to give to everybody else. So, we've really, like I said, grown up with the company. So we actually started our own franchise business 20 years ago, which is crazy to even think. We were 24. I was a year younger, 23 when I met your parents. But how we basically started is, I went to college like a good little girl's supposed to do. And my mom had said, you're going to college. She's the single mom, right? You're going to college and you're going to get your degree. And, that's still what they teach our 5 kids now. Colin has 5 kids, is you go to school and you get good grades, and then you get this amazing degree and you get a good job, and the company's going to take care of you for the next 45, 50 years of your life, right? And that worked very well for Grandma and Grandpa, not so well for some of us here today. So totally. I bought into all of that hook, line, and sinker, and basically got my big fancy college degree, and thought I was going to make $50,000 to $100,000 a year right off the bat. I was hot stuff. No, God had a different plan for me. I ended up waitressing at Ruby Tuesdays for a year, and then moved to Colorado at the time and waitressed at Lone Star for another year. And I put my resumes out everywhere. I could not find a job. And so I finally took a job working at MCI, which was a small little phone company back in the 90s. Yeah, right. It was actually very big. It was like AT&T's biggest competitor. And so I remember, Colton, being so mad, because I thought I was going to start at the top as a supervisor, but I had to start on the phones, telemarketing. Well, yeah, that really, really stunk. So what happened is that I basically started there and thought, no big deal. I'll climb this corporate ladder. I'll work my way up, man. I'll show them. Well, the week I started working at MCI was the week I found out that I was pregnant with our oldest son, Brock, who just turned 22.
Wow.
Yeah. So long story short is I had a buddy of mine who I sat next to. His name was David Whited, and we got to know each other really good. He was a great friend of mine, and he had just moved there from Kansas, and we got to know each other. And he came to me one day, and he's like, Trinity, my brother in Orlando showed me this amazing business, Market America. You gotta check it out. I'm so excited. And being the great friend I was like, no. Pyramid, Amway, some vitamin deal. When you make money with that there, David, you just let me know there, buddy. Like, I literally, let me know if that internet thing, like, there was no internet at that time. Right.
I gave him like a tap on the head, like, you're cute, you know.
Pretty much, yeah. So, so I blew him up for 7 months, and he still razzes me about it today. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, I should have listened, right? I blew him up for 7 months. And during that time, I had my son went on maternity leave, and basically took that maternity leave, but I had to go back to work. We had $17,000 on the credit cards at the time. I didn't have the choice. Yeah, right. We didn't have the choice to stay home with our son. And so when I went back, I needed to wait till there was a day shift open. And the only reason there was a day slot open was because most of the time you had to start working at the night shift and then switch it over. But is because David, your dad, had quit MCI. That's why there was a shift open. So I asked my supervisor, what happened to David? He's got 2 little babies. You were a baby, like 3 in 1. This is his health insurance. What's going on? She said, oh, he's building an unfranchise. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Because, see, I had done, Mary Kay in college. And once my family and friends bought everything, my 3-month career was done, and then I was signed up in Amway like a year prior. They signed me up, took my money. Nobody talked to me again, really, that did that. So, anyway, it was just like not a good experience. So I just blew them off. But at any rate, when your dad quit and Audra said he was making like $3,000-4,000 a month, I was like, what? Holy cow. Okay, I need to see this. And I remember looking at it. I didn't understand it. I never ran a business before. Didn't matter what happened here and the reentry over here or anything like that. I didn't get it. All I knew was that there was a system behind it, a franchising system. And they said that the system was made for average people with above average goals. And that it was step by step by step. And I'm like, okay, I can follow a system. Just tell me what I got to do. And the second thing I knew was I knew your father. I knew David and Stacy, and I trusted them. And if they could make money, I could make money, and let's roll. And I knew I wanted to be home with my kids. So I looked. I was like, ready, fire, aim. And Cullen takes aim a little bit more. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And I just jumped in and let's go. Cullen's more like, hey, let's look at the information. And not me. I was like, I'm ready. Let's do this, and jumped on board and just started following that blueprint. And it's a 2 to 3 year system. Gosh, it took us probably like 3.5 years. Do we care now? No. We've been home with our 5 amazing kids. The oldest is 22 now. The youngest is 14. And we've been so blessed to, one of my goals, Colton, was to be the room mom. And I've been able to do that with every single one of our kids. And Cullen's been able to coach the basketball team for 3 of the kids. And, we've just been really involved with our kids' lives thanks to this amazing business. And no regrets. We do it again. And I'm really excited for the people listening because I know what this can do for your future, and the system works. So that's how we started.
And you probably have a better appreciation of it even now than you did. I mean, like Dad probably couldn't even pitch to you, being a stay-at-home mom, 5 kids, all that stuff wasn't even predictable when you probably started the business.
No way. Not at all. Not at all. There's definitely, we're joking before this Facebook Live thingy we're doing. And I'm like, Colton, this is out of my comfort zone. Like, I don't know, like Colin's like going to go running somewhere. I'm like, where are you going? I got to get on with Colton. I want to make sure I can my sentence. But the whole thing, if you can understand where, I was an MCI telemarketer making $12,000 a year, right? Colin was a maintenance mechanic working 12-hour shifts when he started at the age of 24 as well. And so, there's no way that we could even predict that. You're absolutely right. So stepping out of your comfort zone and growing personally is a huge part of this business. There's no doubt. So we couldn't have predicted it. And so it wasn't like everybody's like, ooh, this trend check's just going to tear it up. There's totally lots of personal growth. And that's why that weekly checklist is so amazing, because you've got to read every single day, at least 15, 20 minutes a day. You've got to listen to your audios. You've got to be bulletproof and really learn your business to get the posture and so forth. So you're right. Lots of growth going on.
Good. Yep. Yeah, you just never know what life brings and the twists and turns and all that stuff, but having the residual income allows you the freedom to do what you really want to do. So one of my favorite things in your story, I remember you came out here and we're talking like April a couple years ago or May a couple years ago, and I remember you're telling your story, you're like, David and Stacey, they were there for me, they were showing the plan with me, we were a team, and then one day, they had too much going on, they weren't even allowed to come, they weren't able to make it, and I had to show this plan by myself. Can you kind of go through that story? That was a cool story.
That's a funny story that you remembered. I don't think they were maybe they were busy, maybe they weren't. They probably planned it that way.
Birds out of a nest, like, come on, you can fly.
That's what it was. Get out of the nest. Get out of the nest. Well, I just didn't have the posture. And I had probably been with the business a good, maybe 5-6 months. Who knows how long it was. But yeah, I just remember I was like, wait, can you show that I got this appointment, or I got this appointment, I got to get this done. And they were busy. And then I'd call Audra and she was busy, and everybody was ironically busy at the same time. So, but I was like, wait, you don't understand. This person's a teacher. They make like $30,000 a year. Like, they're a grown up. I can't do this. I can't show this thing. There was no 22-minute video we could send anybody back then, right? So that's the best way you can, grow with this company, is to get out there and show this plan yourself. Because once you do, it doesn't matter if you draw it out, use the flip chart, use the video. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And once you can show this business plan, you're never dependent. Your success is never dependent upon anybody else. So yeah, that's all I know. What they did in that day, I have no idea. But the point is, Colton, is I showed the plan and took ownership. And once you do it once, you can do it again, and you can do it again.
Yeah,
you can do it again.
I remember when you said that you came out and you were like, yeah, I had to drive to this appointment, but and the people actually didn't even come into the business. They all said no, but I remember driving home and recognizing I could build this business because I just proved I could do the activities that it takes to build this business. And I'm like, oh, that's so good. I took a note on that. That was really good.
Thank you. Yeah.
So you launched. You're off the ground. You're showing the plan, and I know one of my favorite parts about your story is I know you had a lot of stuff on your plate at that point. You had the kids, and you're still working at that point. You didn't just quit, MCI to build Market America full time. You were juggling a lot of stuff. What were some of the things that you kind of came up against in building out your business with some of the juggling that maybe allows you to be successful? And then just any tips on that? Like I know there's a lot of people that are they have full time jobs. That this is meant to be a part time thing. And they got to kind of squeeze it into their lives. Any tips for people like that?
Oh, absolutely. You just want to be really creative. And first of all, you have a whole team of people. This is so foreign to a number of different people who are working full-time, Colton. Some people are working 50, 60, 70 hours a week. And so they get paid for 50, 60, 70 hours a week, right? Where this is so different because you don't have to go out and kill this thing, right? It's a whole team of people. And so I challenge all of you to utilize your team when you can. You can bring them to the UBPs. You can bring them, to the home business presentations and different things like that. So definitely plug people into that. But Colin and I just got really, really creative in using our time. And so to me, I just kind of looked at it as, I'm a mom. You're not a mom, but you'll be a dad, And so if other moms out there, it's kind of like, why should I go put on my heels and pantyhose and meet Michaela, and she's got to put on her heels and pantyhose, and she's got to get a sitter, I got to get a sitter, and then we got to go be all professional, and no. Again, this business is made for average people. So I would bring my kids, I wouldn't bring them to the trainings or the GMTSS events. I'm not saying that. But if we could meet somewhere face to face and let the kids play at the park, I've done a lot of stuff at the park. I would meet them at McDonald's Playland and, I'd bring my daughter and just be like, okay, go play. And I gave her French fries for breakfast sometimes. This is way before TLS came out, you guys. I would just sit her in the little high chair there and I'd be like, shh, just be quiet. Let me get through. I'm trying to be professional. And, but it worked. And I think a lot of people really appreciated that. Just because you can come up with solutions. If you are a busy mom and you trade with another busy mom, there's one lady that owned a daycare that was in our business. So she would take my kids in the day, and then I would watch her kids on a Thursday night or whenever we didn't have a meeting, so she could go out and run appointments. And there's no money exchanged. It was just trading, right? And so you can trade with another mom, so you can just be really, really creative with that, and just show the plan, show it often. And even dads, like I said, I've met dads at the park before, and there's so many different places that you can meet somebody. And I think if you're a parent, you really can appreciate that as well. Now, there's no doubt you do have to get a sitter when you do go to the local events, to Miami, Florida, coming up here in February. And there's no doubt, Colton, we would get the sitters. There's no question that Cullen and I would not have that covered. We'd have a backup. There's no way you won't see Cullen and I in Miami, Florida this next February, 2018. We will be there. And there's just no question about it. So we have always had a chance to line the kids up with grandparents or trade with another mom or whatever we needed to do, because we really treated this business like a business. And you've probably heard this before. If you treat it like a hobby, it'll pay you like a hobby. And we just were very, very consistent with that. So we always used our kids. That's our reason why, right? You have to know the reason why, what's going to drive you and move you off the couch. When, we're from Chicago and, it's 0 degrees outside, and, Cullen, the kids had ordered a pizza, and I got a 7 o'clock appointment. And, it's January and it gets dark at 4 p.m. at that time. And I got a 7 o'clock appointment, and they ordered pizza and they're watching a movie, and I'm like, okay, I got to show the plan, which was a great thing. That's when you need to go, when you really don't want to go. Let me tell you, that's when it pays off, number one. But number two is that you have to know your driving force and what's going to move you forward and move you off the couch. That's your reason why. So Colin and I have always used our kids as our reason why, not our excuse. Does that make sense?
Wow. That's huge.
Well,
that was that's what the whole call right here.
Oh, well, thank you. It's so easy because it's harder to get a sitter for 5 kids, definitely. But when somebody says, oh, I can't find a sitter or I can't make it, you got to be a problem solver. And I learned from your parents a long time ago, the person that solves the problems makes the most money. The person that solves the most problems makes the most money. So there's no doubt that, you got to do whatever it takes and know your reason why and make sure that you use that as the driving force.
Dude, that is so good. That was awesome. And that applies to a lot of things. Like people use the family, people use these different things sometimes as excuses, and instead of the fuel, the fire that burns them to do what they really want to do. There's a fire to get off the couch and do what they need to do. That's
right. Absolutely. Yep. So
I love that. And the one thing I heard you talk about as well before that was super good was you're talking about not even just telling your kids I gotta go, but you kind of gave them their own personal fuel that almost encouraged them. You were talking about, like you said, lives for your kids, like Disneyland or Disney World and stuff like that. What was some of that stuff?
involve your children, involve the kids. Yeah. Okay. And what I mean by that is, and this isn't from Trin, I just learned this at a local seminar before as well. But somebody, we've all heard of dream boards, right? We've all heard of people making up the dream boards, and you should do a dream board. You, Michaela, should do a dream board. Colin should do a dream board. What about the kids, right? And so so that's what we did back in the day is we'd get the Target ads out, and we would do just lots of pictures or Disney magazines or whatever. And we'd have the kids do the dream boards. And we'd make a fun project out of it. We'd make a fun day out of it. So it started with Brock the first time I heard it, and Brock's our oldest, and he was about 2.5. And if you're a parent out there, you know what I'm talking about when they want to be with you. Now they're all teenagers and above and all that stuff. But I remind him often, there was a time when he'd cling on my leg and cry the hard cry. And, Mom, don't go on a point. He couldn't even say appointment. He called it a point, like, don't go, like the ugly cry. And I'd feel bad, and he'd feel bad. And it was this negative thing. So we sat down, Colton, one day, and we did a dream board. And, when they're like 2.5, 3, it's fun. I mean, he cut out everything. We cut out Mickey Mouse. That was a big one. He wanted to go see Mickey Mouse. He cut out orange juice, a gallon of orange juice. Cut out like Hot Wheels race cars and stuff like that. So I'd go. So then the next week, we put the dream board up in his room, and then we had a picture of Mickey Mouse. We put it on the fridge. Mickey Mouse was in his bathroom when he brushed his teeth. And so when Mom went on a point, it was a good thing. He was like, Mom, are you going on a point today? Are you doing a point today? So then he would flip it around. It went from a negative thing to like, hey, when's your next point? And so if you think about it, it's right there on the weekly accountability checklist. You got to read your goals twice a day. You have to have them there, right? So same thing with the kids. And so we just, same thing with Brock. And so he turned this all around, and he was cheering us on. So when we had an appointment, we'd go do like a couple appointments for that week, and I'd bring home a gallon of orange juice, and I'd plop it right there on the table, and I'd be like, we got the orange juice. And he's like, we got the orange juice. And we celebrated it. And then like a couple weeks went by, and we did, 5 appointments, and, we got that. I brought him home a Hot Wheels race car, which those cost like $1 or $2 back in the day. And so, but we showed our kids how to accomplish their goals. And we took each one of our kids to Disney World when they turned 4 years old. We actually have a timeshare in Orlando at the time, and brought each one of the kids when they were 4 years old for their birthday to Disney.
Wow.
And it's, it's one thing, Colton, for you to say, to your kids, okay, you can shoot for the stars, and you can be anything that you want to be, and you can do this, and you can be anything you want to be, but I'm not willing to do it. I'm not willing to go do nothing for my goals, but you should. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So you got to lead by example. So,
man, that's so good.
Thank you.
I love that. I was just talking to somebody this morning about that, like connecting the pain to the reason why. Connecting like what you're wanting or what you're desiring to the activities that you need to do, like the dream board, or having something like the kid where he's like, the point now is Mickey Mouse. The point is not Mom's got to go. The point is, I'm going after this thing. That's awesome. That's not even just for kids. I got to remind myself of that. My new name for showing the plan is point. That's what I'm going to start calling that.
Michaela, point.
In honor of Brock, I got to go to my point.
Oh, well, and that's the whole thing too, because you have to know your goals, and everybody on here, everybody's listening to the video, they're going to have different goals, no matter what. We're all different people, right? But again, if you can use your reason why and just be very creative. See, if I had a sitter on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock and my appointment rescheduled or canceled or whatever happened, I still had a stinking sitter for that night. So am I going to go home and, home, get the kids early and pick them up and then go ahead and just kind of plop on the couch and watch American Idol or whatever at the time? No. I still had a sitter. I was paying for a sitter, and I had a goal. So I would utilize that time, and it didn't matter what I was doing. I would go prospecting. I would make follow-up phone calls. I'd touch base with people. I'd sit down and call my names list at that time because that was my Market America time. So no matter what, I'm still utilizing it for my 10 hours a week because I already had a sitter. Does that make sense? Because you have to know your reason why. And so if something, I mean, people are people. So if something did come up, we're still utilizing that. And Colin and I still do that to this day. This is our Market America time. So if somebody else, we never, ever, ever base our goals on somebody else's timing.
So good. I love that. That's like some key stuff right there. Trinity, you are like a time bomb. Just awesome, good stuff here. This is like just, well, it's really good stuff because I'm like, I don't, I do have a lot of time. I have a very flexible schedule and stuff. But because of that, Michaela and I have had to learn how to discipline our schedule. When it's Market America time, it's Market America time. Sometimes when you have all the time in the world, it's harder to get stuff done than when you have no time in the world. And so, yeah, I love that. It's good stuff. Discipline your schedule.
Well, and it is so true. And there's no doubt those kids grow up and they don't need you as much anymore or, they still need you, obviously. You know what I'm talking about, but they're not like cleaning on my leg anymore or whatever. So,
right.
But I'll tell you what, Colton, looking back, I wouldn't change anything. One thing that I'll mention to you, because again, if you're a parent, not a parent, it doesn't matter. You're going to have some challenges come up with this business. And, I always use the example, Bryn's, our oldest daughter, her birthday would always be the weekend of convention. So when she was younger, she would, can you stay home for my birthday? And it's like, it hits you in the heart, When she's too young, she couldn't even remember. We just celebrated on a different day, right? But I've heard people just through the years, well, I can't leave. That's my, my daughter's birthday. Or, how old's your daughter? Well, she's 2. Hey, to each his own. I don't mean to offend anybody. I'm not saying that. But for Colin and I personally, we knew she had no clue what day it was, right?
Right.
And so for us, it wasn't a sacrifice. It was an exchange because even though we might have celebrated her birthday on a different day throughout the years, when she's older and she was 11, 12, she got it. No worries. Okay, we're going to celebrate it on this weekend because it's all about the sleepover, her friends anyway, and stuff like that. We just celebrate it on a different day. But I hear so many people say, okay, well, I can't because of this, or I can't because of this, and using it as an excuse. But I'll tell you what, our daughter's 19 now. She just graduated from special effects makeup school in Orlando. And she does remember us writing the check for her college because she doesn't have any debt. Right? So she remembers that. She doesn't remember her 2-year-old birthday or her 3rd birthday, and she doesn't remember we celebrated on a different day, but she knows that she's debt-free for college. So, and I love what Michaela, she's the one that taught me this. Michaela Whited, I think you know her, right?
I know that lady.
She says it's not a sacrifice, it's just an exchange. So I love that. I stole it from her. So, yeah.
I stole it from you that stole it from her. It's the world, it's a circle of Market America good ideas.
It is. We all utilize each other's talent. That's the whole thing. I didn't know everything. I used her team, and that's hitting it on the head of what you just said. Is God gives us all different talents, and we just utilize each other.
Man, so good. I'm so excited about this. Now, I have 2 last questions. I'll just ask them both at the same time, and then you can answer them in whatever way. Okay. Question 1: what is your favorite Market America audio? If you could only get one audio, I know there's hundreds of them and stuff, but if you could only get one and you got to listen to that one on repeat, what would you say is the best one to listen to? And then number 2, if you could, have somebody just really go all in on a certain skill, what skill do you think is probably the most important skill that you've honed for your success?
That is such a good question. I'd have to say 90-day fast track. Just because that's the one that I listen to over and over and over and over because this never goes fast enough, right? So I just listen to JR's 90-day fast track over and over and over. So I would, if you haven't listened to it, that's an oldie but goodie. And I would say that if somebody can master everything in the basic 5, that weekly checklist, be consistent with it. But if you can master that follow-up process, that's golden, right? It's just golden. When I show somebody the business plan, I'm never going to take anything and leave it to chance. And I think that just comes from back in the day and just being younger and like, how am I supposed to teach this? I mean, making $12,000 a year, how am I supposed to teach somebody else how to make six figures? I had a little dilemma going on, like, you know, so that's what we did. And we keep talking about it, but we used the team, and I used them for follow-up phone calls within 48 to 36 hours. I got them on the phone with somebody else. I gave them the information, but I wasn't taking a chance. I need to get them on the phone with somebody else, because if I showed the plan, Colin, I still teach this to this day. If we show the plan to somebody and then we follow up and answer their questions, and then we go to the HVP and show the business plan, we're in major convince mode, right? But if they hear from somebody else and answer their question, it builds a relationship. Then when they go to the HVP, it's like, oh my gosh, girl, yes, I know you. It's so nice chatting with you the other day. So nice to meet you in person. And so, you know, you're kind of building that follow-up and keeping them up on the thermometer, if you will, of excitement. So if you use the system, so you use the system. Colin was a maintenance mechanic. You just plug the handy guys in together, and you know, let the guys talk, do the whole guy thing, and girls talk and do the whole girl thing, and just lots and lots of three-way phone calls and edification there. Because this whole business is 90% posture and enthusiasm, 10% knowledge. If you were going to go, okay, Trin, my next question is, tell me all the ingredients in the minerals that we have, or what's all in the, you know, in our snap cleaning products, and how much is this? And I have no clue. But you know, the system's out there. Let's look it up. It's right there. All the ingredients are on your website, blah, blah, blah. But it's people want to jump on board with somebody that's going somewhere. And you just got to create the excitement, use your team, master that follow-up, and you're good to go. Because once you build this, you guys have no idea how life-changing this business truly is. Hope that helps.
That is so good. Very, very, very helpful. Trinity, thank you so much for coming on here today. It's awesome. Thank you for being who you are. We love this part of the family.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. The first Facebook Live interview with Colton Whited, and I wouldn't want to have done it with anybody else, buddy. So hope it helps a lot of people, and go build it, because your future's waiting for you. Have fun.
So good. Team Reading, you guys have a great rest of your day. Tell her how awesome she is, because she's amazing.